Stop, look and watch. It's Crazy Josh. Welcome back to the CrazyJoshCravy. I make vlogs and sketches and whatnot. And today I will be responding to Speedlearner again. He made a video asking me a bunch of really good questions actually about a short film I worked on last fall. The film itself is actually pretty good. I'll link it down in the description. But anyway, let's get to it.
The first thing I was pondering is, when we see the first scene, we see this young lady, she's standing at a street corner all by herself. Yes, granted it's in the daytime, it's not at night, but still. I was kind of wondering, why is she standing on the street corner all alone? Maybe it's not in a terribly dangerous part of the neighborhood, whatever, I don't know. It's just something that came to my mind.
Well, it's, we filmed that in Langley, which is, where it takes place. And that corner is like in the middle of town and people are there, like, there are little kids to grown-ups there, like, all the time, because it's a bus stop, and it's a corner right by a church and a children's theater, or used to be the children's theater, and it's a safe corner. No one's ever gotten, like, mugged or shot there. Oh, wait, well, yeah. But yeah, I mean, she was just waiting for the bus. People do that, dozens of kids do that literally every single day.
At the beginning of the video, the names of the characters are not immediately revealed. Throughout the film, their names are finally revealed and so on and so forth, but at the very beginning, that's not entirely revealed. So I didn't really know, as I was watching it, who I was referring to.
Okay, this is our fault. Well, I mean, I wrote the film, but there were like 7 other people working on it too, and they never noticed this either. Everybody involved had a script, and we could see all the names. We knew who was who, we knew who was playing who, we knew what the characters' names were, we knew their relationships with each other, and so it's very easy to forget that somebody watching it won't know all that just automatically. So I'm sorry about that, but to clear things up, here is the characters and actors all lined up properly. This is Brenda Griffith.
Oh shoot, Maddie. Oh god, guys, I couldn't turn around.
This is her older sister, Bailey Griffith.
Give me a reason.
Sorry. This is Riley Moore and her sister, Samantha Moore. This is me, I'm playing the mugger. This was our teacher, Amanda Yeoman Brooke, as Detective McNabb.
What do you know? I mean, not terribly much at this point.
And I'm sorry, because I'm definitely going to mispronounce this, Mike Verahaz as Detective Spencer. I'm sorry, I do not know how to pronounce that name. But those, now you know the characters and their relationships and everything.
What smells was the young lady expecting to inhale on the bus? She was talking about how the bus was so smelly. What kind of smells was she going to encounter when she got on the bus?
Well, she said that she hoped the singing bum wasn't on the bus that day. So, a smelly hobo that sings.
I saw some people in the background entering a building. Why were they entering the building? What was that building? Why were they entering it? Was there some kind of meeting going on? What was going on?
That was the Hub, which is sort of it's like a youth group type thing where kids can go after school. It's in the basement of a church. That's actually a church, and it was like in the backyard of the church that I shot Riley, and so I thought that was it's like ugh. But no, it's like a youth group type thing in the basement of the church where kids can go after school and like eat food and play video games or watch movies or something. I don't know. I was only there like once, like 2 years ago.
Now I saw the quarter, but I couldn't see what year it had been minted.
I do not know. Because I did not edit the film. I only edited 2 scenes. The teacher's husband was the one who edited most of it, and I'm not a fan of how he edited the movie. You'll hear me talk about this later, I think. But he said something. He like flipped a coin on his counter and filmed that and everything. But so he would know. but I don't know how to contact him. I don't think I ever even met him.
The next scene, we have this other young lady being held hostage by a crook. And the crook is demanding that she give him her purse. And the first thought that came to my mind was, okay, she is facing imminent peril, and she's asking the crook if she could keep her phone and her car keys? To me, that didn't seem very logical. I mean, to me, it'd be like, well, here's the purse. Please don't shoot me. Logically speaking, I would already know that the crook was never going to let me keep the phone simply for the fact that I could call the cops.
I know the whole asking for your stuff doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but I figured, you know, she's being held at gunpoint. She, you know, worth a shot. Literally, boom. No. But, you know, it's worth a shot. See if he would let you have your keys or something. I think she was mainly just trying to have an excuse to reach inside her bag so she could spray him with the pepper spray.
While we're at this, why wasn't he wearing a mask? Gee, he could be very easily identified.
That's a good question. I have no idea why he wasn't wearing a mask. That could be a legitimate plot hole.
I mean, did he actually have plans to shoot the young lady, put her in a comatose state, or possibly worse?
I don't think he actually wanted to shoot her, though. That's why he was really shocked after he did shoot her.
For the crook to stand there and say, well, you can keep your keys, I'm sitting there going, man, that's not very consistent. He's worried about her having the phone and calling the police. Why shouldn't he be equally as worried that she could just jump into a car, go to the police station, consult with a sketch artist, and help the sketch artist create a composite sketch which could identify him? After all, he didn't even wear a mask. Not so smart.
Yeah, I don't know why he allowed her to do that either. Maybe he was just tired. Maybe he'd been mugging all morning and he was just fed up with people. And he's like, fine, just get your things. Just give me the money and stuff. I don't know. I'm the writer. I should know. I don't. Sorry.
The crook agrees that she can keep the keys, even though he's going to take the purse. So she reaches in the bag and she pulls out mace. Now that's kind of a dangerous move. He has a pistol, she has mace. She could have been shot at any moment. I don't know that I would have pulled mace on this guy. I would have probably just handed him the purse and hoped the heck he didn't shoot me.
Yeah, I think it was just because she was like in the moment and couldn't think straight. Like when you're sitting at your house calmly watching a movie where someone's getting mugged, but like if you're actually getting mugged, you probably won't be thinking the straightest. That's usually why people do weird or irrational things when they're in danger. Maybe she just really wanted her purse and, you know, risked getting shot. And well, she did get shot, but she also risked it, spraying him in the face. But that's a good point, though.
In one scenario, the lady with the coin climbs on the bus. In the other scenario, she walks down this sidewalk and eventually walks around this fence and she actually sees the criminal trying to rob this other lady of her purse. She suddenly shouts for help. Maybe not such a good idea. My instinct would have been to hide behind the fence, wait until the crime was over with, then go find the cops, instead of just suddenly shouting for help. Even if you want to shout for help, at least get behind the fence, then shout for help. That way you don't get shot. That's the way I would think.
Well, she wasn't really. I mean, she wasn't calling for help. It was just a reaction. She saw something shocking. She's like, oh, wow, jeez, no, what? I'm pretty sure she didn't even say help. She just reacted, and that, you know, out of instinct.
Now, once the young lady with the coin, when she was shot, why didn't the other young lady run for her life? Or was this other young lady some kind of karate expert and maybe she knocked the gun out of the crook's hand? I mean, she could have done that. I think the other gal should have taken off running, maybe gone for some help after that, but just gotten away. I mean, there was a distraction. The guy obviously shot the other lady. He was now stunned because he had just done that. Perfect opportunity to escape.
The thing is, she did run away after Brenda was shot. It was in the script. I'm almost positive we filmed it. Now I'm starting to doubt myself. But since I didn't edit it, I didn't, you know, she did run away, but that was not shown in the film, which was one of the few things I did not care for in the edit. There's actually a lot of things I didn't like about the edit, but that's...
In one scenario, the lady with the coin didn't arrive at the coffee shop. In the other scenario, she arrived safely. But in that second scenario, when she heard the sirens, she and the other lady sitting at the table didn't bother to investigate the sirens? I would have.
Well, I mean, you know, you're just having lunch with your sister in a coffee shop, and there's an ambulance outside. You figure there's an accident, but it's not like, you know, it's not like you've never seen an ambulance before. I don't know about you, but on Whidbey, it's, you know, it's not like everybody's always getting injured, but it's not super rare to see some sort of medical or police vehicle, you know, something with a siren on it. If you just acknowledge that it's there, but it's not like super interesting. Brenda hadn't had that encounter with the mugger in that timeline, so she would have no reason to think that was connected to her in any way.
If the young lady with the coin is shot, the other lady isn't taken to the police station for questioning. Why not? Shouldn't she consult with a sketch artist? Just a wild thought there.
Yeah, after Brenda was shot, Riley, you see in like 2 scenes later, Riley is at the police station. And that is something I will touch on a few questions from now.
I'm taking a wild guess at this, but I'm going to say that the last name of the lady who was being mugged was Moore. And the young lady who arrived at the hospital was a relative of Miss Moore.
Yes, like I said before, we didn't make the names as clear as we could have. But yes, that was Riley Moore, was the girl who got shot. And then her sister, Samantha Moore, went to go see her. Except it wasn't in the hospital that she was at. I'll get to that in a later question. More delays, yay.
Miss Moore arrived at the hospital, and the first thing she asked is, what happened? Wouldn't a more appropriate question have been, how is my relative doing? Is it my relative even going to be, is she going to live? What kind of condition is she in? That would have been more my question rather than what happened. I mean, yes, I would have asked what happened later, but that would have been the first thing I would have thought of is this person going to live? What condition are they going to be in? So on and so forth.
Well, the thing is, in Bailey's case, Brenda wasn't there. And in Samantha's case, Riley wasn't there because this was another thing I realized that is so easy to see in a script, but not always that easy to make obvious on film. They weren't at a hospital. They were supposed to be at the police station. We actually filmed it at Wicca, our theater. We actually filmed it at our theater in the hallway, but it was just supposed to be a sort of a generic looking hallway, and it was supposed to be the police station. Again, to us it made sense, but looking back now, there's absolutely no way to tell it's supposed to be a police station. The reason why she was asking, what happened is because, I guess there is a little bit of a plot hole there. I want more of a, a not correct thing. Sorry, I'm really tired. It's only 8:50, but I've been up since like 9 o'clock a.m. yesterday, so a tad tired. Anyway, yeah, it's not a perfect explanation, but I saw it as, I know that Brenda and Riley isn't there, so, I didn't even think about that their sisters might think that they're there. The point is that their sisters weren't there, the victims weren't there, and the victims' sisters are coming to ask what happened because they might not think the detectives would know how well they are. I realize I just fumbled a lot over the last explanation. Sorry.
Ms. Moore is mugged, and Miss Griffin, the lady with the coin, is the one who's shot. A young lady arrives at the hospital and asks what happened. Again, I'm sitting going, why don't you ask about the condition of the person being shot before you ask what happened? The thing is that Ms. Moore isn't at the police station giving a statement and consulting with a sketch artist. Why not?
Except she is. Yes, when Bailey is at the police station, you can clearly see Riley sitting in a chair. That was my idea, to have her. I think it might have been in the script, but I'm not sure. But the security blanket and like hot chocolate. I can't remember if she had a cup or anything, but I just love that. It's such a cliche of cop shows. I loved that. Anyway, and Bailey talks to Riley and everything, and obviously Riley wasn't there when in the other timeline because the circumstances were different. In the timeline where Brenda is shot, Riley sees it and then runs away, and then goes to the police, and she had obviously told them what the mugger looked like, but then Bailey asks her what the mugger looked like. She says, gray hoodie, green beanie. That's opposite. Gray beanie, green hoodie.
In both scenarios, the young ladies that arrive at the hospital try to leave the hospital to pursue the crook. And the police don't try to restrain them, to apprehend them, to do anything they can to keep them from getting harmed?
It's true. They could have tried a bit harder. It was supposed to be, originally it was that they were at the crime scene and both the girls took off in their own cars. And so obviously the police couldn't, they're just detectives, they couldn't get to them in time. And it was this, there was this, like, the script went through a lot of variations, but, when we revised some of the stuff, instead of at the crime scene, getting in their car, driving away, it was just at the police station and storming out. We still kept the aspect in that the police just couldn't chase after them for whatever reason, but, I mean, the Detective Spencer does try to stop Bailey, but, it's... they could have tried a bit harder. Sorry.
In one scenario, Miss Griffin finds the crook and decides to confront him. When she saw the crook, why didn't she just hide somewhere and call the police and let them try to apprehend him? I mean, after all, that would have been the safer option.
Yeah, it would have been the safer. But Bailey, especially, Samantha too, but mainly Bailey was, like, super angry, like, just furious at this person. I don't know why Sam wasn't as much, probably because Nicole isn't as good of an actor as Keegan, but, Bailey was just really mad, and she was, maybe she wasn't thinking straight, maybe she didn't care that it was safer to wait it out or anything. She just wanted to take care of this guy now.
And the thing is that when she does confront the crook, why didn't the crook just suddenly wield a pistol? I mean, he obviously had one. Why didn't he just wield his pistol and say, hey, man, don't you dare try to follow me?
That one, I actually felt that was, maybe not super obvious, but somewhat obvious in the film. But that could also have to do with the editing. But the mugger, he never gets a name, it's just Mugger. I might tie it into Project Flux, though, and it'll just become me. But he was just so, like, shocked and ashamed that he actually shot someone. He didn't want to. He was just trying to get some money or something. And he didn't want to, in my opinion, he was just done with the gun. Like, he did not want to use it or have it involved anymore.
Where did Ms. Moore obtain a pistol? Isn't she aware that she could be arrested for brandishing a weapon in public? Isn't she aware that she could put innocent lives in jeopardy by brandishing a pistol? Didn't she have a cell phone? If she did, why didn't she call the police from a safe distance? I mean, the very second that Ms. Moore spotted the crook, she should have gone off, hid somewhere, and called the police and let them handle it. That would have been the safer option. Not only for herself, but because she's now brandishing a pistol, she could hurt innocent people by mistake. And that wouldn't be a good thing. She could actually do more harm than good.
Yeah, she could have harmed other people, but it's still that, like, sort of fight or flight response in your brain, or just the overwhelming anger and adrenaline. You don't always think straight. And about how she got the gun, they both got a gun. It was the mugger's gun that, again with the editing, I'm sorry, but I did not enjoy the way it was edited. It was way too fast-paced. The script was 14 pages, and the film ended up being 8 minutes. That is not correct. I swear almost everything I've ever done with the script, it's the same amount of minutes as it is pages, but somehow it was chopped almost in half the time. That was like a mid-rant in the middle of an answer. I don't even remember what the question was. Oh, right, how she got the gun, how they both got the gun. Well, it was in the script, we shot it, and everything, and I have the footage, You know, I ended up with some of the footage. I don't have all of it. I'm trying to get it though. But what happens is after Riley, or after Samantha and Bailey confront the mugger, you know, separately but parallelly on the different timelines. After he runs away, he drops the gun by accident, or it falls out of his pocket or something, and then they pick it up, and you know, they like in an instant, they, you know, all adrenaline, everything, not thinking straight, they just grab the gun and go after him. But that wasn't theirs, that was his, that he dropped. It fell out of his pocket.
But these are all the things I thought about as I watched your video. Hopefully the questions I asked you are as thought-provoking to you as this video was to me.
And you should know that they were. Yes, despite my joking and fumbling over things to say, your video and your questions actually, you know, thank you. It made me, it pointed out some, you know, I wrote it, I'm not gonna deny it, flaws, plot holes, huge flaws in the story. Well, maybe not like massively huge, but noticeable flaws and plot holes and inconsistencies. I want you to know that your video actually, you know, has helped me a lot. It's, like I said, despite my joking, I took, you know, everything you said very seriously, and it's really helped me, you know, for future scripts, you know, really think about, all right, I don't know anything in the script, so how am I gonna learn it, and that sort of thing. I've had stuff that I've been wanting to say here for months since I saw this your video, and I'm having trouble remembering it all. I'm pretty sure it was very touching though. You know, and I hope that you do this sort of thing for, if I have more short films. Sorry, if I do more short films, or just or a video with a storyline in it or something like that. It's always like super helpful when you point these things out, because it, you know, it makes me better at doing it. Sometimes it's really hard to detach yourself from the project you're doing and look at it from an outsider view like you don't know anything about it, and it really does help me. Thank you. Anyway, that's about it. Hopefully you stuck around. I personally wouldn't have. I would have been off trying to re-edit the movie. But anyway, like I said, that's about it. So until next time, I bid you all goodbye.
The crook agrees that she can keep the keys.